most of it away. Start over. I took it off the pedestal because I thought I was done and I wasn't. So I just was lazy. Pull some of that away. Now we'll turn it over and see what our handiwork looks like. See how it is so far? That looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to leave that alone, and now I'm going to paint the outside, and I will oh, I'm really tempted not to, but I just don't think the White Walker eyes have a dark ring around the outside edge. I just don't, I never see it, so I'm just not 100% sold on this yet. But just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to show you what I normally do for dragon eyes. Very carefully, I'm just going to brush different lengths. Very light hand. I don't want a glob on here. I just want a hint on this human eye. Let me get this flat. Okay. Works better if I do it away from myself. I'm just lightly brushing the top. Checking to see if I'm in camera view. Not perfect by any means. It's extremely variegated. Extremely non-symmetrical, extremely organic. You got short lines, fat, thick lines, which is what the natural eye would be, in my estimation. And as I dip it in, and I clean off one side of the brush, and I leave the paint on the top. I don't do it this way. I want it on top so that the gravity will pull it down through the bristles. The only thing I really am concerned about is making sure that I have at least almost a solid line at the very outside edge of the ring, of the cabochon. Okay, so there we have pretty much everything there. And now before I scratch, I'm going to add another color. And I think I'm going to add this blue right here. We'll try this blue here. See how it goes. And this is just a practice for me because, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to get these White Walker eyes just perfect so that it looks like a real White Walker eye. For those of you, some people who don't know, they don't follow this, Game of Thrones is a series of books turned into an HBO series. And a White Walker is kind of like an undead being. They get killed. And they come back to life via the White Walker King. And they're very creepy. Walking Dead. I read the books. My husband is not a reader, so I got him the DVDs from the first series, and he was hooked. Plots within plots. The plots all twists. The books are much better than the HBO series, in my estimation, but I love the storylines. I am. Some of the stuff is not that cool, but I like the ideas. Dragons and medieval times. That always intrigues me. So, hence, trying to make White Walker eyes. So I'm just coming around here, getting close to the edge. Ah. Don't want a whole lot on here. I'm trying to... I don't want globs. I want nice wispy lines, and I'm not getting it with this nail polish. Okay. So now I'm going to just do a few scratches. This time, I'm still going to pull away from me, but I'm going to do it at the base of this instead of out here, because I want to preserve the outer rim. So this time I'm just going to scratch in towards the pupil. But I'm lifting up before I get to that new row of paint, or the old row of paint. And I'm not necessarily concerned about how perfect it is, because like I said, as I apply more nail polish, excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. As I, it is so cold and dry down here in the basement. As I apply more nail polish, the wetter this becomes, and the more pliable it is. It is very flexible. That's a good word for it. You can adjust, you can shift, and I'll show you how to do that, how I do that. I want to just finish scratching around here. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect. I'm just laying in some lines. And I'm very slow at this. I apologize. So, like I said, you can speed it up to 2.0 and just listen to me squeak. So we got 3/4 of the way done here. I don't like that solid line right there, so I'm just kind of like scratching it away. It looked too straight of a line, which is not natural. Okay, there's that. So now we'll see. Pretty cool. There's a spot right here I don't like, and a spot right here I don't like. So I'm going to turn it over. Right under my thumb. I can see I have an extra glob. You see that extra glob right there? I don't know if you can see it or not. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to pull at it, scratching some of it away. Now I'm going to check it. And it still doesn't look quite right. So I'm trying to hold this so that you can see, and so I can... So I'm going to come at it from the back side so I can actually see what I'm doing. And And I'm going to just scratch just a little bit right there. See where else I want to scratch just a little bit right here. That works. While I'm at it, I don't care for these two spots right up here, so I'm just going to just give it a little scratch. Give it a little variegation, and I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the center of the eye. I put white as my second color. So now I want to come back in and I want to add another color against that white. And I think I'm going to use, whoa! I'm going to get some paper towel, clean up my mess. I don't want to get that smeared all over everything. All right. Did I put that in the center of the eye? I did. I put that in the center of the eye. So I don't want to use that color. I'm going to use the lighter color here. You can use whatever color you want. If you wanted to go with a darker shade, it doesn't matter. You can. I just want to make sure that I have something that's different. Personal preference. You can do this in any color as long as you have at least 3 shades of that same color, like green or red, like an Eye of Sauron. See that? Isn't that cool? I think I did 5 or 6 colors on here. Love it. Here's a bronze one that I did that turned, I did it a little too dark of bronze. So now it kind of just looks like a brown eye. But I still like it. Here's one I did in shades of purple. These are all done with the technique of just scratching straight out. Here's another bronze dragon eye, where I didn't put in a lot of the brown. Looks very interesting. Anyways, back to the blue eye before I get too dry that I can't make any adjustments here. Pulling from the center out. I'm just trying to cover what I painted and then maybe a millimeter or 2 past that paint that I just painted. And I'm not concerned about being concentrical. Concentric means, in this case, a circle where you have a circle within a circle within a circle, and each circle is exactly evenly spaced. So if I have a tiny circle and then a bigger circle and a bigger circle and a bigger circle, and they're all exactly 2 millimeters apart or 4 millimeters apart, that means they're concentric. Just in case someone didn't know what concentric means. So I think that is good. I'm going to try to pull some of that blue back in. I don't want that too much glob there. Going to look and see how much white I covered up. It's not quite. I can still see just a little bit of white, but it's not quite what I was expecting. So that's all right. Like I said, it's always in my mind what I want to see, and I haven't quite achieved it yet. So I will just play with my methodology here until I get it right. But this is what I've been doing, trying to achieve that look. So I'm going to quickly just scratch around the outside edge here just for a second. Sometimes I go in, sometimes I stay close out to the edge. I want that variation. Now if you don't want this kind of variation, you're more than welcome to just play with just evenly dragging every time you turn. It's up to you. It's totally up to you. But this is my take on how I do it. Wipe off that grease from that polymer clay. You see how we're going? It's looking good. Is it what I want? Not yet. All right. I'm going to go back with white one more time. We'll see what happens here. And I'm going to pull from the center. And I'm only going to go just to the edge. Just barely, maybe even a millimeter past what I just did. Not even a millimeter. I just want to add more white just to see what will happen. And in this case, I don't have to worry about it being feathered because all I'm trying to do is apply more white to what's already there. Are you in the camera? Yep, we're in the camera. Lift that up a little bit. So I can see what I'm doing. Now I got too much paint, so now I gotta kind of spread that out. Just cover where I painted and scratched. Okay. Now while that's still wet, we're going to try to scratch it again. I'm just going to scratch the edge this time. Maybe come in just a hair. Some hair and some air. Barbaros. Just a hair and some air. And just pull that white paint down into the blue. Pulling it over towards me so I can see better, and I keep forgetting the camera. Ooh, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, now I'm going to go back to the outside edge again, and I did that light blue, so now I'm going to try some of this blue. This might be too aqua-y or too warm. Don't know how to describe it. I gotta do this way. I think I'll just show you how to do this eye, because I was actually gonna show you how to do the dragon eye too, but this is gonna be way too long if I do. So I'll just explain that the dragon eye is the same premise as the human eye. You just keep spinning it as you work. You keep scratching it as you work. You turn it over and scratch it from that side as you work. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to sigh. I was just thinking. I put the nail polish to the left-hand side so that it is so that it's not in my way. And then my hand crosses over so you can't see what I'm doing. So then it's in your way. So I move it out of your way, and I keep feeling like I'm going to knock it over. Okay, now we're going to scratch again. So not a very good method either way. So now I'm going to just drag it in. Not going all the way out to the edge. I don't want to touch the outside edge. I mean, I may. If I do, it's no big deal. But I kind of want to preserve that outside edge right now. So right now, my goal is to not touch it. I just want to scratch into the paint. And I'm even going into, got a little too much, got a little too heavy-handed on that one. I'm even going into the white that I just did. So we're connecting the two colors. Trying to connect the two colors anyway. Again, I'm dragging away from me because that's the only way I can do a straight line for some reason. So, if you can draw a straight line doing this every time, you go right ahead and do it. Right here, I had some globbies, so I was just very carefully smushing them back down. And I'll turn this over in a little bit, and I'll look at it to see what damage it did. There, I did it again. I'm just going to pull it back down. What do you think? I don't see anything wrong with it yet. Okay. Is that the sparkly? I think that was the sparkly. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and try this. Although if I don't like it, I'll just put it in a bowl with nail polish remover and let it soak and wipe it all off. Just start over. That's what I like about this, because you're not ruining anything if you don't like it. You know what? I think I'm going to take it all the way. Before I go all the way around, let me look at it, see if I like that. It's okay. So in this case, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do it everywhere. I'm just going to do it randomly. That looks pretty random. that in there. Okay. And now since this one was such a huge colorant, I'm going to scratch some of it away. I'm going to scratch it away. I better do it this way. Okay. Now let's go back with this color. Oh, what the heck? We'll try two more colors. So we'll put some of that right here. Some right here. Put some right here. Put right in the middle. And a little bit right here. I'm going to add just a little more white. Just maybe in 2 or 3 spots. Like that. Now we'll go with this medium blue. Make sure we get all of the holes filled where I scratched. And all of the empty spots that haven't been scratched yet or painted. Okay, let's turn it over. See what kind of damage I just did. Ooh. Okay. So now from this point, I'm going to work from behind. And I'm going to see where, like, this looks kind of cool right here, but it's got too much of a perfect circle. So I'm just going to change it. See how easy that? Did you see that? I hope you can see that. Let's see if I can get closer and do it again. This line right here. This line right here. I don't like that line. So we're going to try to scratch it and change it. And I'm just going to lightly touch it with the back of my dental pick. And all I'm doing, actually what I'm doing is I'm pulling it and just back and forth like that. Ugh. Now I got to get some paint back in there really quick before it gets too dry. Oh, let's do this color. Get more paint right there. The wetter it is, the easier it is to adjust this like this from the back side, working from the back, I mean. Here's another spot. I don't know if you can see that right here. I want to try to adjust that. Ugh. pull some paint in and out of there. Sorry, I'm being very quiet. I'm trying to concentrate. Whoop. Can you see my lines that I'm creating? I'm creating like air holes. That's okay because I'm just going to go back in and add more color. But I just want to get... I want to get a more variegated look so that it doesn't look like I painted it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I want it to be... I want it to look like the eye naturally absorbs as the colors shift. I'm going to go with this darker blue again. Go back in. On that piece right there. And I think I'm going to put white right. No, I'll just go ahead and do it. All blue. If you can go in and scratch while this is really wet like that, the paint will just shift around for you. And so you could pull and push, but it got a little too dry for me in those two spots. So I think at this point I'm just going to paint the whole side blue, the whole side, or black, whatever color you want. If you want to do black, you go right ahead. If you want to do green, whatever you want your back to look like, you just paint it a solid color. And here your eye is finished. I'm going to call